What's going on, everybody? I'm Primalliquid and welcome to my guide for Atelier Ryza 2. Now in this video I'm going to be showing you guys how to make the most insanely overpowered bomb type item in the game. And when I say overpowered, guys, I mean it quite literally one-shots the optional boss and is also very much so more than capable of dealing over 1 million damage to the Lamb minigame. So let's just jump straight into it, shall we? Now straight off the bat, in order to create this bomb, you are going to need two things unlocked: the skill tree, that is the lunar lamp, and the Philosopher's book. Although I should probably also mention you are going to need the evolution link as well, because what we're going to be doing now is we are going to create these two items and then we're actually going to combine them. Now I already have a lunar lamp made. It doesn't matter what is on this lunar lamp, it doesn't matter about the effects, the traits, the quality, like all of that can be ignored. However, for the Philosopher's book, this is what does matter. So we're going to start off with creating one of them first, and I'm also going to be using the spirit bottle here to actually put my traits into the item. In this case, I'm going to be using critical plus with 99 for 100% critical hit, destructive plus at the max cap of 50 for, 50% extra damage, and then few bonus plus just so it deals even more damage against single targets. Now, when it comes to the actual effects that we want, they're going to be quite simple. We're going to need to boost up the Proof of Chaos. However, what we're going to do here is I'm actually just going to go ahead and use the Effervescence, because what this does is it increases the element value of all materials added to all material loops by 100%. So what that basically means is, if our Archean Cell only had a 7/5 value, it now has 14. And since we don't need to worry about quantity when it comes to making the Philosopher's book, we still have a light essence that we can just waste, and that's why I prefer to use it on that. In terms of everything else, we're actually just going to go ahead and start flying through now, pretty much unlocking every major ability. However, I am still going to be using effect spread on most items, just so that I can actually get through it easier, saving a little bit of quantity that I can then use on other things. Much like here with the Ether Core and Effect Spread, if you want to get Ether Cores with the Effect Spread value, then you need to actually use Mystic Seeds from Gardening with Trait Up XL and the Rare Gather Material XL as well. And that way you can actually end up getting Ether Cores from it. In terms of the CC, it doesn't matter at all about the CC, because using a 4 Spirit Amulet, which you 100% should be, it's only going to cost 1 CC to use anyway. So we're going to completely ignore these. However, I am going to unlock this wind element right here, just because it's going to unlock the final trait section, which I need as well. Okay, so now we're at the point where pretty much everything is done. I am going to place a Dragon Eye in for the level reduction though, just so I can equip it on like lower level characters, and that way it'll also be usable in New Game Plus as well. So now at this point we have all the main abilities learned, so now it's time to actually use the Essence boost. The first one we're going to boost is number 2, effect number 2. Like if you look in the left hand side there, you've got Circle of Truth, Axis of Truth, Vampiric Epic and Illustration of Sage. The reason we're going to be boosting effect 2 first is because the Truth of Chaos deals moderate ice and lightning damage, increased damage with higher current CC. So obviously more damage is going to be a lot better. Now over here we do have illustration of the Sage, which an image of the Sage that captures the conscious of the user, costs 5 AP, and if there is not enough AP the effect will be decreased. We don't really care about these, like we're actually going to worry more about that coming up. Likewise, the same with the Vampiric Epic, a Blood Oath that absorbs life, dealing moderate non-elemental damage and restoring the user's HP based on that damage. We will again be worrying more about that later. For now though, we're going to go ahead and boost effect 1 as well, just to turn that into Law of the World. So the reason we do that is this one deals moderate fire and wind damage. Now if you remember back to effect 2, that was ice and lightning. So now we're dealing all 4 elements of damage on their maximum possible state. Or at least it will be the maximum possible once I max out that effect 2. And just like that. Now we do have 1 quantity remaining. I mean, at this point you can put the quantity into whatever you want. I'm just going to put it into the CC-1. Even though there's no real point to that, I might as well use it. So now just make sure you choose the correct traits, which again is going to be critical ++, destruction ++, and few bonus ++. With that done, our Philosopher's Book is now made. Now, you can item duplicate this if you want, however, since 6 of them were made there because of my Philosopher Stones, I'm not going to bother duplicating them. Instead, we're just going to move on to the next step, which is going to be Evolution Link. So what we want to do now is we want to take the Philosopher's Book that we just made, and then we want to combine that with a lunar lamp that you would have made previously. And doing that will turn it into the Apocalypse. However, we're not actually done just yet, because as you can see right now, we are getting a whole bunch more effects spawning in, which we're going to worry about fixing now. So straight off the bat, we're going to go straight into item rebuild, onto the Apocalypse that we just made, and then we're going to worry about getting these extra effects. So as you can see over here on the left, an Unbreakable Pack that absorbs souls, dealing moderate elemental damage and reducing the target stats. We're not actually going to go for these, and the reason for that is we have debuffing items which are much better, and the ability to restore health is going to be more important. So one thing that I am going to do is I'm going to unlock the Vampiric Engraving there. However, I'm not going to unlock the Soul Stealer's story. Over here on this side though, we have basically another upgraded version. Obviously, previously it was Image of the Sage, you know, it costs 5 AP and it does a little bit more damage. However, down here, an Image of the Moon that captures the consciousness of the user costs 10% of HP, and if there's not enough HP, the effect will be decreased. We're going to be getting this, and that is why we're not going to be getting this one. The reason for that is, with Vampiric Engraving, we'll actually be healing every time we use this item, completely negating the downfall of this side here. And then, of course, we already have the highest effect 2 and so on and so forth. However, down here we do have an upgrade for effect 1. And this upgrade basically is just a higher level of damage, pretty much. Like, that's pretty much all it is. It's just more damage than we initially had from the Law of the World, because we're going to be getting the Truth of Ruin instead. There is no higher upgrade for Effect 2, so you don't need to worry about that. The only extra upgrade is going to be for Effect 1 and Effect 4. So, with that out of the way, let's actually start making them, shall we? So, straight off the bat, I'm going to use a Spirit Bottle over here, and then followed by an Archean Cell, because obviously we are going to be maxing that one out. Now, on this side, I'm going to be using another Spirit Bottle. However, for the animal product here, we only need a 2 rank for the lightning. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to filter by lightning, and then I'm just going to go down to the very bottom. And I'm just going to use any item that has 2 for lightning. There we go. But unfortunately, because I used my double essence earlier, that's actually just cost me a little bit. It's alright though, it's not the end of the world. It just means we'll have to leave the Vampiric Engraving. We'll still have Vampiric Epic, which is more than enough. Basically, we'll still be restoring far more than 10% health. In fact, the Vampiric Epic alone will pretty much fully heal Ryza, even with over 1000 health, just because of how much damage we're actually going to be doing with this bomb. So now we're going to come down here to the effect 1. I'm just going to throw in another Archean Cell, which is then going to pretty much master everything for us. We're not going to worry about the quality over here, because let's be honest, it is completely and utterly pointless worrying about them. And now our final Apocalypse is completely done. And as you can see up in the top left, it is only level 52. So once again, choose your traits: critical ++, destructive ++, and few bonus ++. Okay, so now that we have the apocalypse made, like it's now basically a perfect apocalypse, it's now time to finish it off. And what we're going to be doing now is using Evolution Link again, choosing the finished apocalypse that we just made, and then we're actually going to be mixing it with another apocalypse. Now, I do have another apocalypse made previously, and here it is. So there we go, Prediction Brand applies below effects to target, the Circle of Truth and the Axis of Truth. And obviously if you guys remember when we made these, those two effects were actually damaging abilities, which means now when we use this Apocalypse, we'll be doing all 4 elements of damage normally, plus the non-elemental damage from Vampiric Epic. However, because we're actually using it in conjunction with the EV effect, Prediction Brand, we'll actually be doing a second lot of 4 elemental damages, effectively taking us from 5 sets of damage up to a whopping 9 sets of damage in one item use. So let's just go ahead and mix them right now. And there we go, guys, our apocalypse is now finally complete. And what you can do at this point is, if you want to equip it on everybody, feel free to go ahead and duplicate a few. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a random 7, just because. And then what you can do from there is either equip it on everybody, or you can go balls to the wall and just give Ryza 3 or 4 of them, because as long as you actually use these in conjunction with the 4 Spirits Amulet, each one will only cost 1 CC to use. For example, let's go jump in a boss battle against the optional super boss, and I'll have all 4 of them available to use, and then we'll have some fun and show you guys just how insane the damage actually is. So with that, let's jump straight over there.
調査ノートの補充はできてる。今日もたくさん調べるぞ。
なんだか胸がドキドキする。冒険って
Okay, and here's the optional boss. Now, before I show off these damage numbers, I just want to mention one thing. All of my gear on Ryza, including the 4 Spirits Amulet, is at the moment completely and utterly centered on skill-based damage and normal stats, which means I'm actually missing a very, very large amount of damage from weapon effects, gear effects, and just traits in general. Even with that in mind though, let's take a look at how insane the damage is. But again, as I mentioned, you can boost this damage by much more as long as you build Ryza with a sense of going into full item damage. Aside from that, my elemental core damage is also not maximum level either, so you can still gain extra damage from that. And of course my CC is not maxed either. And finally, the boss is also resisting these. Either way though, let's take a look at the insane damage, shall we? So straight off the bat, 21,000. And for the second one, another 20,000. Obviously, because my CC is getting lower, the damage is getting lower. But as you can see down in the bottom left, each one is using my health, but then it's also instantly healing my health as well. And there we go, guys, 78,000 damage on the optional boss, even though it was resisting all the damage, and also the fact that Ryza is not built for item damage on my save. So as you can see, that is just an insanely high amount of damage at pretty much 0 cost. Still though guys, that is going to be the end for this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed it and I hope it's helped. If it has, then please be sure to hit that like button and leave a comment down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, then make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. As always though everybody, thanks for watching and I will see you soon.